Welcome, everyone. This is Rafael Hernandez, and you are listening to the 117 podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, Alon Werber, the CEO from Pixellot, and he is the CEO of one of the companies that is revolutionizing football with novel ideas that unite technology with the sports. So I wanted to bring him here because he can show us the future of the sport, and this could be really interesting for everyone. Welcome, Alon.
Welcome, Rafael, and thank you so much for having me today.
Glad to have you here. So, Alon, first of all, let us begin with an introduction of your company and its goals.
So, Pixellot was set up in 2014 with a goal to try and serve the 99% of games and trainings, not only in soccer, in few other sports, but soccer is the main sport, which were not produced in the past because the costs were too high or the operation was too complex. So what Pixellot tried to do is use technology. We tried and we actually automate the entire flow, starting from filming to production, to streaming, to any nation, all the way to the OTT or the application for the coach and monetization. Once you completely automate the process and you can have cameras set up once in variety of surfaces, mostly soccer, and all you need to do is define the type of the game and apply the type of the sport, and the rest is done automatically. And suddenly, so many leagues and games which were not before can be produced now because the cost is affordable and it's really easy to operate. So this is what we've done. We are talking about 99% of games worldwide of registered players and leagues, which were not produced in good video to support both the fans, but also the coaches, the scouts, player performance, etc. And this was our vision. And today we have systems at 50,000 services worldwide. Many of them are soccer. And just to give you a sense of the quantities we had in this January 2021, we produced 150,000 hours at 1 month from games and trainings and drills and so on. So it can really revolutionize the sport of soccer.
Oh, fantastic. And speaking of which, you okay, so Alon, you have been working with Barcelona since 2017. What can you tell us about the partnership that your company has with the club?
Yes, Barcelona is really a sort of love story for us, which, as you correctly started in 2017, where we were demoing our system at La Masia, and we were able to show them how quick we set up a system that can then capture every game live, and but also trainings. We have different automated production, AI based production, which are designed for drills and training, different one for live games. And we have auto productions for fans, but also designed for coaches, which see the game different ways. And instead, they start the systems first. This was a evolving partnership. They expanded our system to serve 8 different surfaces so not only in games, and not even just in soccer, but mostly soccer. And as partnership evolved, we started to work deeper about Barcelona. They anticipated actually us short cycles of feedbacks of how we optimize more and more the service system to the need of the video analysis, the sport scientists, and all the audiences, all the users of such a system. So I can talk much more about this partnership, but in a nutshell, this is how this all started.
Alon, could you give us details on how is the new partnership with the Barcelona Innovation Hub going?
Yes, of course. So Barca with a system that will serve professional coaching needs like elite team, and we have been connected into the central Barca system, this which record all the games. The analyst can actually, while the game is or the training, can zoom in, capture a piece of the game, create replays, share them, attach that's video, etc., etc. This is already in point. This was also an ongoing process of improvements and adjustments to the concrete needs of Barca. But at some point, understood in some places, soccer academies have quite a few soccer academies that is under control of Barca and any other affiliate worldwide. That these academies cannot afford the more advanced system that the professional coaching, and we need to find a way to develop a system is affordable, lightweight. You don't necessarily need to call it fixed in a venue. Maybe you want to mobilize it to away game, and every coach can actually enjoy any of the features and capabilities which today only professional teams with larger budgets and professional analysts can actually utilize. So this was the challenge we defined. So Barca wants, of course, to access to youth out there and to see the performance of the players, to get the clips and organize to get the statistics, to be able to go back in time, save all the data. And then we developed a solution called Pixellot Air, which is necessarily the main requirement was not live in elite teams and other teams. You want even through the game itself to have analysts that can cut and share them to the coaches and etc. In this case, it was about mobility, affordability, lightweight, and easy to operate. So we developed the Air is a much cheaper solution that still allows you to capture the game automatically, allows you to cut highlights of the game, cut clips, and allows, I mean, every coach, not even a professional coach or analyst, and then connect into another system here, which is called VidSwap, which is a breakdown platform that allows to add in more advanced statistics that can then be embedded, connected, actually market it together. So at the first phase, we just sold Barcelona services. We provided services, we kept improving them. This phase, we actually developed a solution that can serve not just soccer academies, but every soccer academy out there. And by the way, why I'm saying the on that Barca Innovation Hub, I think as a vision, is not just about promoting Barca's services and performance, but also sport of soccer. So Barca was always happy to share the comments and abilities with other teams, even in Spain.
Oh, nice, nice. Alon, but I have to explain to the listeners too what is the Barcelona Innovation Hub. The Barca Innovation Hub was created in mind to actually create the Silicon Valley of football inside Barcelona. We already have had the club organizing some successful conferences, and the result is we already seen the results with the Pixellot partnership. It's been a really fantastic idea for the club as a whole. And Alon, By all means, I want to ask you something that really came to my mind the moment that I heard you explaining how the Pixelware and the training recordings work. Do you think it's possible that one day we could see all of Messi's training sessions for Barcelona using the Pixelot technology?
Well, in fact, almost if not training sessions are already recorded and managed by Barca today. Just since every year, so we create Barca 130 terabytes of video, which is stored more than 8,500 hours of production. But this is, of course, owned and protected by Barca, by ourselves. So if Barca one day decide that they want to share with fans or any audience training sessions and other sessions, have it. This is how Messi and I think other players are actually viewing a lot of the performance they have through the drills and the sessions is using our systems and our apps. It's there. It's already out there.
Oh, fantastic. I'm sure that Barca one day will do it, and imagine just you are curious about a new La Masia talent, and maybe you can simply search his name on a server by Pixelo in the future that Barcelona makes available, and they can see all of the highlights. Would be just amazing. And can anyone buy equipment from Pixelo and basically record and transmit their football matches?
Oh yeah, I mean, Pixellot. I think Barca is a key and prime customer for us. But remember, we have around 7 surfaces or 5,000 surfaces of soccer, another 10,000 surfaces of other sports in 50 different markets and countries, ranging from China, Japan to Brazil, your country, Mexico, Africa, South Africa. So the answer is positive. There's two bars, partners, which has rights and want to equip the or a league or a federation with systems using our OTT or your own OTT, you feed in this Facebook. You can approach us and we will provide end-to-end service, or actually in the near future buy their system, the live systems which are not, but to record everything what you can after the game, and you get all the game produced and all the stats and all the stats, etc. Some of it you'll be able to buy online by your own. So there'll be two channels here. The action or the more professional products like Barca, the elite team will buy it directly from Pixellot to our website, connect us to us. And we have people in any one of the countries. And for the lighter systems, like those it'll be available online.
Oh, nice. Really, really looking forward to that. And Alon, I know that Pixelo doesn't work simply with Barcelona. It works with many other clubs in La Liga too. Does Barca or Barca okay with that? How does it work for you?
Great attitude around this topic, which might be a sensitive topic. And Barca genuinely is trying to promote the game of soccer to make it more accessible and easier for all professionals to do what they need to do: analysis, insights, and get all the can get in a very accessible and easy way. And they're not trying to pushing us or trying to force us to provide it all to Barca, although this is an advantage. It's a competitive advantage because you don't have such systems in other places. They encourage us to work with whoever. So have quite a few systems in Madrid. We have in Real Betis. We have another like in Premier League, Mexican Premier League. Uh, the attitude technology can help improve the game, and it's not we are trying to force the only we can use. We at Barca.
Oh, that's fair. Fair enough. I think that the whole good of the sport takes priority over competitive advantage sometimes. Alon, I would also like to ask you, what's your long-term vision for Pixellot? How do you think the company could be could be working with like 5 or 10 years from now with the clubs?
I think our vision is that practically any player worldwide, regardless if it's professional, all the way to grassroots to kids. We are now, open the website in the US, a parent can buy. Youth, anyone will be able to a great video, all the training, easy to consume. Honestly, it's only the highlights, only the personal highlight. Tag, share, or share or save the moments for. I see that this will be accessible to anyone, that the affordable, and the operation is so simple. You'll be able to choose, the type of service that fits you. You don't need to pay a lot. You want for very banal, affordable price. So this is the vision. I see video as the heart of sport, of proving in sport, for the player himself, for the fan, for the parent, alumni if it's high school or college, for data that can be given, to the data companies. So this is one piece. If I look from a different angles, as much as you surface soccer and you'll have scoring system, you'll know. I'm sure that in the future you'll have something that can very automatically every game, because video is a core component of sports or vision. Every service out there will have automation that can coach all bonuses I mentioned, and it will be a fall, and it would just a mandatory component in a service, in a field.
Oh, nice. Absolutely, it's what we all want to see. And I'm curious myself to ask you, how is that there are so many Israeli sports technology companies right now? What is happening in Israel right now that stimulates the growth of so many companies dedicated to tech in the sports?
I think that's a great question, because Israel has technology, but we are not huge leaders in the sport itself. We have some good team, some great soccer players, but we are not. Our soccer team is not the top 10 or something, and yet we have so many sport technology companies. That's a very valid question. And my explanation would be that a lot of the technologies which are core for the success of a sport are very advanced, and a lot of experts and experience in Israel. So if you look core technologies of video, live video, of AI, of cloud, of cameras, sensors, we have a deep knowledge in Israel and many experts in those fields. So we were able, I think, to assemble the right group of experts and knowledge, come up with very, very solutions that needs a lot of proficiency in one of those categories. So Israel is strong in the technologies, that eventually build up many of the sport tech. This is my one explanation. Second, I think Israel became very effective since it's a startup nation in creating ecosystems in different spaces. So we have in the tech, for example, we quickly few entrepreneurs have built ecosystem organizations. Israel, for example, we have Colosseum, which is arranging conferences and exposing sport tech, Israeli sport tech to many large clubs and organizations around the world. So they build the infrastructure for smaller companies to have access to many organizations worldwide, knowledge, and get exposed. We have Colosseum, we have Hype in Israel, and I think this knowledge came from other industries. We have the same in the automotive industry, and we have ecosystem in cyber and in tech. So it's almost part of the DNA of high tech guy here is to have those guys who are helping to arrange the space and provide the infrastructure for young companies to get knowledge sharing and to get the exposure.
Oh, interesting, very interesting. And let us not forget that there are lots of football fans in Israel too. The football scene in the country is really, really big. And Jordi Cruyff himself was coach of an Israeli club for quite a while, and he achieved lots of success there. So it's all about the love for the sport as a whole.
You're completely right. Israeli are heavy fans. So many Barca fans in Israel, by the way, quite a lot of to we see the NBA, so many guys going in, the champion league, of course. You're right, people sports. So for me, for example, recruit work in Pixel, we compete with of Google and Facebook, Amazon. It's not easy, but the fact we are in the sport business is really because guys in Israel, and not just young guys, are sports. So you have a great point, and
Yes, yeah, it's really interesting how things have really evolved, and football is a global sport more than ever. Always was, but because of the internet and the technology, it's like we are really close to one another, and that's the good part of social media too. Alon, thank you very much for participating in the interview. All the best to you and Pixelo, and really looking forward to seeing those messy clips in the future. I'm sure that someday the club are going to make those available.
thank you, Rafael. It was my pleasure. I hope I was able to shed some light on some of the things we're dealing with. And this is exciting space. Of course, there are many other components, the part of the sport in the tech. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about with you today.
Pleasure's all mine. Take care.